Hey everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Watcher of Realms. For today's video, I want to give you guys some really cool updates related to what's coming on the Forerunner server, which is a really good sign for coming soon after to Global, as well as something new I noticed here on our settings.
The finest blood for the most untainted soul.
So I was about to try to switch to my Forerunner server account if I could remember how to do that. I don't see switch server, but I know I had an account, but maybe because I was inactive they got rid of me. I don't know actually. But in the meantime, I don't actually play on the Forerunner server account I made. I should note that. But look at this. Email binding. We just got email binding and it says we'll get some rewards if we do so. So I'm gonna pause, buy my email, and see what little rewards we get. And we get 300 diamonds! Woohoo! Alright, 300 diamonds for linking your email address. But I'm hoping they give us like a proper login with our email address. That's what I was expecting. And yeah, it's weird. It doesn't seem to be a real login. So what's the point of binding to our email address? We can't log in with it. If you try to switch accounts, you can't switch to a different email address. It's not like you can log in with it. What's the point of binding our email? I don't know. I guess it says for like backup, for verification, account security, whatever, but this is a little bit disappointing. I was really hoping that was a proper like email login, but I just connected my email and then there's no way to make a password or a login. I kind of feel like they defeated the purpose of making this special thing. It's not at all what I said. So if you want to switch devices, it sounds like you still have to yeah, like if you're on iOS and then you want to play on PC, you still got to link to Facebook VK or Google, which you can't really link to Google, can you? In order to log in on a PC client. It's confusing. I don't know. It's weird. That's it. So this new email binding that I was immediately excited for is a disappointment. Let us actually make a login through your own system of Moonton, so we can more easily swap between devices and stuff and not have to worry about iOS versus Google and logging into Facebook or VK, which are kind of weird and strange anyway. I really don't like to use those for logins, so this is a little bit weird. I just use my generic email address for those. But it doesn't seem like there's much of a point. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, let's go on to our bigger updates and our bigger news. Alright, so I realized my Forerunner server account, which I have to access on an Android or emulator, I haven't even got to the point where I could see the news in-game, but I figured it's in-game, but either way, it's on the Discord, so that's where I am. Maybe one of these days I'll actually continue using the Forerunner server account enough to at least see the notices. But I wasn't going to make a video on this at first, but I noticed a couple things that sounded cool, and I was like, I'm not going to make one. Then you know what? I was like, I kept reading it. I was like, okay, I need to make one. I actually came back to this a little bit after I was done doing something else, and I realized I really should make sure you guys are all aware of the wonderful stuff that's coming here. I saw the white dot like right after it happened, right at 4:19. It's now 6 p.m. when I'm recording this. I was a slacker, so sorry guys. I could have got this out sooner. Hopefully, I'm not too late. But either way, I mean, it's the Forerunner server. So again, the Forerunner server is like the beta server that was the server that's been there for like 3 years. The game's been out for a while. It's been the server for all the betas, the beta time period, I guess, and it's still accessible. It's not anything special like a test server. It just has all the old content and stuff gets released earlier there than it does on the global release day servers. So you can, there's a lot more heroes in the pool. There's a lot of different updates. They're on a whole nother level of Guild War. So it's kind of cool. We can get an idea of some of the changes they're making ahead of time to see if they make it to the global server. So of course this is Forerunner server, which the game does look at like a testing phase. So if something doesn't go well on the Forerunner server, they change it or they don't implement it or whatever for global. So keep in mind that this is not 100% what will necessarily make it to global launch. So let's read through. All right, so there's coming, if you are playing a Forerunner server account, this update is coming on the 23rd at 1900 UTC -8. So there you go. Heads up if you are a Forerunner server player. So there's going to be a new, this is cool. Balance and order shall be maintained by utmost power. Introducing the new faction, Supreme Arbiters. Love it. So the fighter Velcra is going to be adding that to her. She's going to be added as one of them to that faction. And they're also adding a passive for her, arena cost reduced. Reduces a cost in the arena by 5. So my girl Velcra is getting a little arena boost. I like it. And then Defender Constance, that we know is part of the upcoming 10 times. She is being added to the Supreme Arbiter faction as well, with a new passive added for arena. Attack increases attack in the arena by 15%. Then there's going to be some skill revamping for some heroes already in the game on the Forerunner server. I'm going to slowly let this scroll in case you want to take screenshots, but I'm not going to read all of this. I'll just let you know who's getting changed. Most of this is not relevant for global launch because these characters are not even released yet. So there's a mage named Boreas, Arbiter of Frost. Obviously, I think he's part of the Arbiter faction. So he's getting some skill revamps. I'm going to scroll this in a little moment there so you guys can take any screenshots if you are interested in that hero. Or just pause the screen and read it. All right, now again, fighter Nash, Marauder, he's getting some changes. That's the like rare hero, right guys? So that's interesting to see. They're getting some changes to Nash. I'm not going to read through those at the moment again, because it could be different by the time it actually makes it to global launch. We did have that happen kind of with Gluttony. Gluttony got a buff on the Forerunner server, which we were excited about. But by the time it actually made it to global launch, the buff was actually a little bit different. So I'm not going to go into too big of details on exactly what the changes are, because again, depending on the testing after they make the changes, they could further change the hero before it gets its global update. And then also the defender named Gorza, Spinebreaker. That is another character not released on global that is getting a change. All right, so on to Guild War. So it looks like in Guild Wars, this is stuff that's, again, only Forerunner server, not our current servers until we hear otherwise. But this might give us a good idea of the changes they're making based on people's feedback. So they said they're refining the battle power calculation for affiliating demon soldiers to heroes. The new calculation now uses the hero's total BP with gear and artifacts equipped instead of the BP without. Oh, okay. Okay. That's kind of what we were expecting from the beginning, I think. I don't know if that's good or bad, though. I mean, that's going to really influence people with really, really strong accounts that have a ton of gear and high upgraded artifacts. That is really, really going to set the big boys apart from the little guys. Let's be honest. That is huge. Because if you get some Krakens out there with some level 25 mythic artifacts, it's going to make a massive difference in the character's BP. So this is definitely a power move. It's highly going to affect what we're facing. So if you kind of could get by fighting some Kraken clans, well, you're probably not going to after this. If this is what ends up making it to global. This could, keep in mind, they do really hear feedback. So if this ends up being busted and people are not happy on the Forerunner server, this might not make it to global. I just need to keep saying that for you guys to remember. I just want to make sure people remember that this is not necessarily 100% which will make it to global. All right, modify the attribute bonuses when affiliating the demon soldiers to a lord. Adjusted some demon soldiers for improved balance. Decrease the attack of demon soldier soulbone archer and the HP of demon soldier fallen reaper and the demon soldier skeleton guardian. Aw, man, come on, leave soulbone archer alone. He's super fun. Okay, we're getting a little bit of a nerf to one of our favorite demon soldiers. That makes me a little bit sad. But it makes sense because if this guy is already kind of busted, once we now have gear affecting that, he could be really busted. So maybe that's for the best. All right. Slightly increase the attributes of Demon Soldier, Knight of Destruction, and then Uncommon Destroyer, and Lightning Guard. Introduce guides for Demon Soldiers, which can be viewed on the attribute page of each Demon Soldier. Added the Battle Report sharing feature, which enables guild members to share Guild War battle reports to the guild channel and watch recordings. That's really cool. If you're like, oh guys, the strategy really worked good against this really hard opponent, go check this out, see if you can do it too. I like that. That sounds great. And then added the message board feature where guild leaders and vice leaders can post updates for all members to see on the Guild War interface. Optimized Garrison Allies interface in Guild War. Members who haven't signed up for battles will now appear at the bottom and be labeled as not signed up. And then address some display and sound effect loss issues. All right, this is a big one. Gear recasting system, which becomes available after clearing campaign stage normal 8-4. You access it from the hero gear, and then you'll go to the foundry. Mythical gear with an enhancement level of 4 or higher is eligible for gear recasting. Gear recasting will reset the stats of all secondary attributes of the gear while preserving the attribute types. Once you've recast your gear, you can either keep or discard it. So it will keep the attributes, but if it's a low roll, you have a chance for it to roll higher? I thought it would just change the substats completely, but... And then required items for recasting can be obtained via events and shops. Added sharing, selling, and locking features to gear enhancement interface. All right. So there's going to be a special material for doing so. Reset all secondary attributes while preserving the type. So yeah, it sounds like it's like, if you get low rolls, you can try to roll for bigger. It really does, like if you get the perfect list of substats, but they roll shit, you could try to re-roll it. All right, now we have new achievements added for clearing Void Rift, Elite Hard, and Nightmare. There's a Vanquisher achievement. It's been enhanced, adding Legendary Hero Pack rewards. Legendary Hero Packs are the or click a card, get a random legendary. Those are great. I love that they're actually adding this as an in-game reward. This really hit it off great when we were able to buy it. It was our $30 legendary pack to get a random legendary hero. And they added this to the faction trials as well. And I love to see that they're adding some other stuff here. So the Vanquisher achievement. Commanders who have achieved this achievement prior to the update will obtain this via mail, this reward. So if you already did the Vanquisher achievement, you can obtain it later. Let's see what that is. So it might cut off funny here, but you could, oh no, you could see it perfect. Clear stage 18 of all 3 raids in Gear Raid. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, I love that as a goal. If we clear all 3 raids and we hit of stage 18 only, not even 19, we get... Wait, clear 18 of all 3 raids in Gear Raid. Yeah, wait, what? That's so good. We're gonna get a free legendary hero just by doing that. Now that's wonderful. The community's gonna love that. I really hope that comes to global as soon as possible. That is amazing. All right, and then optimize the display order of the red dot logic of achievements, optimize the performance of obtaining honor medals. And they did work on the chat feature. The chat feature will now be unlocked after clearing campaign 5-8. This is to help prevent bots and spammers and people trying to buy, sell accounts, all the crap that you see happening in global chat. This will help it because they have to actually play the game in order to access the chat. This is a good change. I like it. After switching to a new channel, there'll be a period of waiting time during which you cannot switch. And then cooldown time has been added when messaging in non-client language chats. The system now detects a limited number of continuous and repetitive messages, and chat restrictions will be placed on detected disruptions. So spammers copying and pasting the same thing in multiple channels, you're going to get stopped. And increase the cooldown for recruiting guildies to 6 hours. So people can't overly spam recruiting for their guild. And the color of the font for shared content has been adjusted to enhance readability. And then some other notes here to end it off. Tide now includes up to 160 waves, and peak talents are finally unlocked. Finally, we get to figure out what the hell those are, right? Fixed an issue where quick star up features may accidentally add equipment or enhanced heroes. Adjusted trophies required in Oracle Trial Arrival of Heroes. And then this end thing that gets cut off here that you're seeing. Now you can earn different number of trophies by summoning with diamonds, rare summoning crystals, ancient summoning crystals, and legendary summoning crystals. Refer to the updated event details for specific number of points. So depending on which currency you use, like in Raid Shadow Legends, the summon events was like, if you use a sacred shard, you get the points for using a sacred shard. They're going to implement that here. Okay, guys, so that is it for the Forerunner server updates. Really good stuff to see. Hopefully all goes well and they get this stuff to global sooner rather than later. I guess if we want to take a quick peek, there's been a lot of fun stuff added recently to the Forerunner server as well. They added a quick swap gear feature, which can be accessible in the gear interface. You could swap gear between pieces of 2 heroes. So like you can swap, like you would have one person's gear all set and then you move it to another hero. So gear swapping was added. That has not come to global yet. There's a bunch of other stuff here as well, like some themed maps, weekly reward changes, as well as monthly progress reward changes for clearing stages, getting some ancient summoning crystal shards. Or no, ancient summoning, yeah, shard. To shard, ancient summoning crystal, to shard, yeah. So they added some extra ancient stuff. Quick affiliate feature for the Guild Wars. But this was back on the 8th of November. So keep in mind, the 8th of the month, which is a couple, 2-3 weeks ago now, they added the gear swap feature that still hasn't come to global. So don't be too keen on this November, or what is today, the 22nd, this coming within the next week or two. None of this is likely coming within the next week or two, but maybe if there is a big update, whatever that next big update is, all of the recent additions will be added, or to some extent at least, right? Hopefully. I mean, I'm really happy to see the changes. Everything looks good. And yeah, I'll try to keep you guys updated more often. If you guys like to see what's happening on the Forerunner server as well, let me know. Even though I don't play on the Forerunner server, this is a sign of what's to come. So it's really nice to see. But thank you guys for watching. I will be going live on Twitch soon after this video is posted, so come hang out with me there if you want. And I will be live on YouTube for our Watcher of Realms summoning party on Friday, my normal time. We can come hang out and we'll have a blast. We have a 1+1, a 2 times with a 10 times, and we have ancient summons, so let's summon them all. And I'll see you in the next video.